You've got Scruffy and Jinyo as we continue our journey, watching an episode a day of the original series to celebrate 50 years of Star Trek. So, going in air date order, since that was how Star Trek was first introduced to everyone 50 years ago, we are now on episode 13, The Conscience of the King, one of my personal favorites if you're really into Kirk angst. Ready?
Yep. And let's get started now. It's an unusual opening for them.
Yeah, because as an audience, you're like, wait, is this like happening now? Like, is this happening on some planet somewhere? And...
Historical flashback.
They're so cute. It's just so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I love how like theater seats haven't changed.
Yeah.
In like 300 years. It's like, wow. Wow. But I have no problem believing that like Shakespeare will still be around like for another, 500 to 1,000 years.
Yeah, why not?
In space. It's just great.
Now, this episode is interesting because it touches on Kirk's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big chapter in
angsty backstory.
in his autobiography, right?
See, it is a fair portion, like a chapter or two.
Mm-hmm. It's important.
I wish it had maybe gone a little bit more in depth. But that's just because I'm really into that part of his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's really intense, and I love how he's talking out of one side of his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, he turned really pink.
Kirk is like, say what?
He's like, Kodos the execution? I'm pretty sure this is a Shakespeare play?
It's Macbeth. It's just a fun way to open it, though. It's like, all right, so they're watching a play. That's fun.
Yeah.
But Kirk is there with, right now, unknown buddy, who is revealed to him that someone super important is actually one of the actors that they are watching.
Yeah.
Given that Kirk's face was not, oh, really? That's so interesting. And it was a, like, say what now? Face? Means it's not good news. Not good news at all. Now, what was the production? When was this done, production-wise? Do we know?
This was the 12th in production order.
Okay, so more or less.
13th in airing order. Yeah. And it aired on December 8th, 1966.
I've long given up trying to keep track of the star dates,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Layton.
Because they kind of follow production order, but not exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not using...
So that seems like a pretty big deal. He comes over to this colony because Dr. Tom Layton has said, like, I've got this thing that's going to end famine.
Yeah.
And then it's actually totally BS.
Right.
I just told you this really devastating lie.
He goes 3 light years off course.
Just to get him to go to a play so he can be like, that's the dude, It's a pretty big deal. That's always suspicious.
Mm-hmm. 4,000 people were butchered.
She's got a nice blingy wedding ring, my God.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think that matte painting, I guess it's not really matte painting, but it's just background.
Yeah.
I think that was also used in the...
Why isn't Tom, like, satisfied with Kodos being dead? If Kirk is...
I think that was the background of when...
Oh my God, look at his face!
What?
Yeah, that's just probably, like, the worst prop job in all of TOS.
Layton is the Phantom of the Opera.
I mean, what is he talking about? What does he mean? Kirk has seen this guy. What does that mean?
That's what I want to know.
It's a pretty big deal. Only 8 or 9 people are alive that know his face. 2 of them are right there.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, that mask is just just really tragic.
It's kind of crazy.
It's all the worst ways. Like, I have to assume they slapdashed it together like an hour before they needed to film. Because there had to have been a better way to give it this whole, like, my face is so scarred here that I wear this mask.
Yeah.
Not something that clearly wasn't a stretch fabric. They had to, like, dart that to pieces. And it's all raw edged and everything.
Yeah.
Tarsus IV. Interesting because since the last episode people would have seen was on Talos IV, and I find it interesting that they were just really into T-named planets ending in 4. Just couldn't think of another name.
That was a weird coincidence.
Earth forces. Not even Starfleet forces.
No,
Earth forces.
Earth forces.
Because they were still going back and forth.
Yeah, they really hadn't nailed down their universe yet.
I love just this possibly an unconscious motion of Shatner as Kirk, where he's just rubbing his finger on his hand back and forth.
Yeah.
Got some CSI shit going on here right now with the computer.
It started saying something about Kodos in Stardate 2794 or something like that.
Which doesn't make sense.
Which is pretty recent.
Yeah, I know. It's very confusing.
Aw, see, they can't be the same. Karidian is way older.
So one guy's life doesn't start until after another guy's life is over. Suspicious?
Or is it the circle of life? It's a big galaxy. There's plenty of people whose lives...
Spock obviously likes Dr. Tom Layton. That's pretty significant, given that, you know, he has been brought here on a lie, but clearly the information that Tom and the computer have presented to him is enough for him to be like, you know what, like, we'll, like, leave in the morning, you know?
Right. See, I think that background painting was used in the scene when Pike and Vina were picnicking with the horses.
His smiles. I die for his smiles.
Suddenly, he's a lot happier to be here.
They're just so genuine looking.
He is quite welcoming.
Love it. Perhaps interesting that she is identifying characteristics of her father with the character of Macbeth, which would be someone who's tortured,
and manipulated by a powerful woman.
Yes. Awkward that she is playing the wife, and that's his daughter,
right?
But
the wife was the one who manipulated him. And
yes.
Well, she's got the sparkly tights on.
But the same way that there was that giant kind of red flag in Menagerie with only Captain Kirk being beamed aboard from the shuttlecraft. It's like a giant clue to what's going on. I actually always end up kind of tuning out on this scene dialogue-wise, when clearly it's a giant red flag of her saying, you know, my father's like Macbeth, and then Kirk brings up that she is Lady Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like giant warning lights and sounds.
This is foreshadowing.
Yeah, Because, yeah, that's that entire exchange right there with my father basically like Macbeth, and then I play Lady Macbeth. Right. That's going to be the entire fate of the episode.
Right. And she doesn't even say he plays Macbeth. She says he is Macbeth. Mm-hmm.
Now for some of the worst fashion we've ever seen.
Now, if you count this weird,
I mean, what is that?
If you count this weird,
she's so pretty,
Spirited Away looking shawl thing as a different outfit, then Lenore actually has the most costume changes of any character in TOS.
Yeah, I'm not counting her throwing a nunnery shawl on as completely different outfits. Everything underneath is...
If you don't count that as a separate outfit, then she's still tied for the top with two other characters.
So let's go out for some nookie, and my friend is dead.
Yeah, that's kind of serious.
My friend is dead. Oh, wasn't that a bummer? She says, not really meaning it.
The actress who plays Lenore and the actor who plays Karidian both have Shakespeare backgrounds.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just find this is Tom's wife, and I really enjoyed this actress's performance. I would think you would maybe go for the tried and true, let me be sobbing and devastated, but instead, it's kind of portrayed as just a woman who, I guess that this was coming, or that she's actually just really happy that he's no longer so suffering and so tortured, because clearly her life with her husband has been maybe difficult emotionally and mentally, because he has been haunted by his past.
Right.
John, Jim. They're just as cute little best buddies. Aww. Fun little, again, I owe you a dozen favors, Jim.
Right.
Because Captain Kirk's just that awesome.
He's a great guy, and he's helped a lot of people.
And just, hey, would you mind not picking up these actors? Because I'm actually going to go and pick them up and take them over. Thanks, dude.
I've got some shenanigans.
Yeah, pretend that your ship has, malfunction, and I'm going to go and pick them up, because now I'm the devious one.
That's right.
Just taking off where Tom left off, and...
You got a new yeoman there.
Yeah. In command, though, so she wouldn't be a yeoman. Would she? Would you be a yeoman? Rank-wise? I don't really know how ranks work, basically.
Well, yeoman isn't rank. Yeoman is a job.
Okay. But would you be
a
command
lieutenant.
Division?
A lieutenant in command division and be a yeoman.
Because that doesn't make sense. I feel like she's just someone getting some paperwork signed.
Could be. But
this is one of my favorite outfits because it's ridiculous. Also, she's still rocking the sparkly tights. That's an actual thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the same shoes from before, too. If I'm not mistaken, that outfit was actually used in the Avengers. Classic Avengers?
The Steed and Mrs. Peel
yes.
Avengers? Okay.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken. I remember looking up that costume one time, and they're... Because that also would have been the 60s.
It looks insane.
It's a giant tube of fur. Giant tube of fur. I don't know. Anyone's supposed to be looking sexy in that.
Well, I'm not saying she doesn't look sexy, but it is kind of insane.
But, yeah, because Avengers was 60s, right?
Yeah.
And so if I'm not mistaken, when I was looking it up, there were some black and white production photos of that other actress.
Mrs. Peel.
Yeah, in that.
Diana Rigg, who is now Olenna Tyrell on Game of Thrones.
But I just find it interesting that they would be, people might have seen this outfit already. And here it is being used in Star Trek. Just, I don't know, a perfect example of how they were just ransacking the wardrobe department.
Right.
On set, whatever the studio had available. It's kind of a sexy little pickup. Our transportation canceled, so can we offer you a free performance for... I'm pretty sure, I don't know. Cost for performance isn't quite equal the cost of hitching a ride on a starship.
Right, right.
But there is entertainment value. She's awfully pretty, and this entire exchange would seem okay if she wasn't supposed to be like 16.
I thought she was like 19.
Is she?
It's Rand, see?
Yeah. Who gives such a great look. Is she? 'Cause I really
Mm-hmm.
thought she was always... Still, she's under 20.
This is actually the last episode that was shot with Rand.
Mm-hmm.
And the really bummer thing is that she was told that she was being fired off the show, like, several days.
Before this.
Yeah.
That's always gonna affect your performance a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, he's got serious face.
But it's not the last time we'll see Rand, because the episodes aired out of order from when they were shot.
I mean, Grace Lee Whitney would have already been off the studio by now.
Right.
I mean, so at this point, you know that Anton Karidian was a governor of a place called Tarsus IV, and 4,000 people died.
You mean Kodos?
Sorry, well, yeah, but he's Anton Karidian now.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the same person. We all know it's gonna be the same guy. Kodos, the executioner, former governor, Tarsus IV, murdered 4,000 people. We've got Dr. Thomas Layton, who you can obviously tell that he and Kirk are friends, believes that this actor is Kodos, who, you know, there was no way to identify the body that was there, so it's speculation that that could be him,
right.
And his friend firmly believes it's him.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to fall in 3, 2. Awesome. And that only 8 or 9
Star
people...
Service, Lieutenant... What is Star Service?
And that only 8 or 9 people are alive that have seen the governor's face.
Right.
Which include Kirk and Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, if you're gonna just be guessing the obvious there, same with apparently Kevin Riley, that all 3 of them were on this colony.
Right. Tarsus IV.
And have been part of and witnessed something truly horrific.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, though. So that would place someone like Jim Kirk at about 15.
Mm-hmm. The drop of the true.
Is that actually a saying? Dubious effects.
Aww.
They weren't. Since when were they conquered? Since when were Vulcans conquered? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, they were conquered.
No, I feel like that's like a really weird line that does not flow canonically.
Mm-hmm. It
Like,
doesn't,
at
because
all,
there's
at
another
all.
episode in which Spock mentions that Vulcans have never been conquered.
Yeah, there's like zero reference in like all of basically Star Trek up to this point.
He's a doctor, not a historian.
I mean, there was like the Civil War basically during Surak's time,
Mm-hmm.
when they went from being basically aggressive barbarians to being all logical and stuff. But there's never been anyone that's come over and conquered Vulcan.
One of the things I love about this episode is we see the return of Kevin Riley, who
Yes.
they've mentioned several times already. And he made such an impression on us in the episode The Naked Time.
And these are like the only 2 episodes though, even though it looks like he's been there for longer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was great about that McCoy and Spock scene was it's Kirk's 2 best friends coming to discuss Kirk.
Yeah.
You know, because who does Spock goes to? He goes to McCoy to kind of get a read on basically what could be going on.
Yeah.
Should there be?
Because who else would you go
know?
to? Yeah. See, he says that he didn't arrange for the soft lighting, and that the lighting is just sort of mimicking nighttime on Earth.
Yeah.
But this is the only episode in which we see nighttime lighting on the Enterprise.
Yes.
It's also the only episode in which we see this observation deck.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a little bit
Oh, she's not done.
blatant in what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Surging, throbbing, but in control. My God, she is not subtle.
No, she's a stage actress.
Yeah.
She's playing to the rear of the house. Human.
Or human.
Mm-hmm.
Shatner will say. It's a good way to just flip it back.
Mm-hmm. I love that he's definitely got romance on his mind, but he's also not dropping his investigation.
No, that's the question. Is there any romance, period, going on?
Oh, look at that face. He's definitely seducing her.
But seducing is not romance. What I'm asking and arguing is that this entire time, he is playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is trying to investigate the claims that his friend Tom have brought to light, and that Kirk is growing unsettlingly more suspicious about. Like, what is going on with this guy named Anton Karidian that doesn't have a past, like, older than 20 years?
That's true, but I'm not prepared to assume that he's only making out with her in order to manipulate her for information.
I totally believe he is.
Because as far as he knows, at this point, she's just an innocent.
But why would you mac on the daughter of the guy you're investigating who might be a mass murderer? That's a little fucked up.
2 reasons. Number 1, she's hot. And number 2, if he's lying about his past, then he may be lying about his relationship to Lenore.
What does that mean?
Like, she might not even be his daughter.
That's far-reaching, I find.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's actually the fact, but I'm saying...
That's not good evidence. That's just a gross speculation as to why he would be truly romantically engaging with her and not just being...
Well, I would think it's mostly because she's hot.
Sure. Except that Kirk is always attracted to women of intelligence. It's not just because they're hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now we learn what really makes Kodos a bastard. Again, I love this discussion of McCoy and Spock.
Yeah.
So it was a fungus that caused a famine on a colony, and Kodos made a decision, being a fan of eugenics, that he would preemptively decide who would live and who would die based on eugenics. And Jim Kirk, Tom, and Riley were there as children.
Right.
And witnessed 4,000 people being murdered.
That raises the question, what was Jim Kirk as a child, as a teenager, doing on the Tarsus IV colony?
Yes.
Where was his family?
Mm-hmm.
Because either they would be some of the eyewitnesses, or they would have been some of the people killed.
Yeah. I believe in the autobiography, they go with the scenario that his mom was there doing studies and stuff. And so he went with Tom Layton's family, who was moving there. To live with her. And there's no mention of Riley there, because Riley would have been like a lot younger. He probably would have been like 7 or 5 or something. But Tom,
and it's interesting to see her playing the Vulcan lute.
She's the only one. She's that skilled. Because Tom and Kirk, as far as the autobiography is concerned, witness the massacre. That like it's a ploy that gets all these people into the center area, and then they're locked in, and then they're all murdered.
That's horrific.
And the explanation for Tom's injury is that they were kind of like caught when they were witnessing it, and like Kirk tried to shove him out of a way of like a basically phaser blast, but it didn't kill him, but it ended up like burning away his face.
Right.
The really messed up thing being that I believe it was Tom's mom was basically a kind of like a plastic surgeon. Like she would have been able to fix it, except she'd been one of the ones murdered. For whatever reason, like, and it really didn't make sense because there were like many people whose skills, like, it made no sense why like eugenically they should be eradicated.
Well, eugenics isn't about skills or education.
Yeah. And they get found by Kodos's men, but they don't get murdered because they're apparently on the no-kill list. But there's this very strong subset of Star Trek fans and Captain Kirk fans who are like obsessed with the Tarsus IV backstory. When you only have this episode to go off of, this is it. It's the only episode you get. And, you know, the autobiography takes, you know, one go at it. There's been so much like fanfic written over it. So you can generally be dissatisfied with what
something unusual is that
Don't drink it!
He's drinking a glass of milk.
Yes, that is now.
We never see people drinking out of a glass on the ship. They're always using like those blue styrofoam cups.
Oh, he is just down in that? That is not good.
Now, when the episode was originally written, and even when it was in casting, Riley's character was going to be a different character. You know, I mean, basically same backstory, but a different name. And they hired Bruce Hyde to play that character. It was only...
Oh, no! Not Kevin Riley!
Yep. It was only after they hired him that they realized, hey, this guy's been on the show before, and he played a different character named Riley.
I just didn't even know. I mean, he'd only been hired once before. They're like, oh, wait, we already hired you before, didn't we? Oops.
So they changed his character to being Riley. But he only has like that one scene, basically. But he plays it with such personality. It's so memorable. And it's kind of, you really wish that he made more appearances on the show.
Yeah. Now, honestly, this is interesting because it's already been indicated that of the 8 or 9 people Tom mentioned that had seen Kodos's face, only 3 of them are still alive.
Yeah.
Now Tom is dead. Riley is potentially dying. So now Captain Kirk remains.
Yeah. So
someone has been going through and taking out all of the Kodos survivors. Or specifically the ones that can identify Kodos, you know.
It's kind of a stretch. I mean, 9 people could die just out of, you know, it could be a pure coincidence.
Oh, but like Tom dying mysteriously and then Riley being poisoned is a coincidence?
Space is dangerous.
I love how you just fucking with me. Now the 2 concerned friends are in the room with him. Basically, they've been doing their own
I love that
investigation and analysis on the
little
side.
B story of doing this investigation into the backstory. I mean, they haven't found out anything that Kirk didn't already know.
Spock is not having his BS, though. He is like, there's something going on here, and you're keeping it from us. Ooh. Because this whole time, Kirk's been handling it on his own, because he considers it a personal matter.
Right.
Because it's such a personal matter, but that he has not even discussed it with Spock and McCoy, but they have been discussing it amongst themselves.
Right. I mean, this is really a seminal trauma for Kirk in his life.
Kodos.
He is.
Spock's just like, it's kind of obvious.
Solved. Why didn't you talk to us earlier?
Yeah, I really am. And that there is this really important essence of Captain Kirk. I mean, you got his friend, horrifically scarred from the incident, who was sure, till his obviously dying moment, that this actor was this monster.
Right.
You've got Spock being like, yeah, it totes is, you know? Mm-hmm. And yet, Kirk, who has also seen him, like, with his own eyes, is still not being like, he probably is. It's just, I have to be sure.
Yeah.
Because to charge someone with being this monster is, like, you can't go back from that. Mm-hmm. And it's just interesting that is so important to him, that he personally has to be 100% sure.
Well, McCoy follows his heart, Spock follows his logic, his brain, but Kirk does what's right. And it's never the right thing to punish someone if you don't know for sure.
I love how, like, we can hear a phaser, let me go through all your clothes. Mm-hmm. Captain, let me just go through your underwear drawer and your sock drawer. He's calling a double red
alert. This is also the only episode when we've seen a double red alert.
Because apparently a phaser on low hum means that it's about to explode. Mm-hmm. I'll just chuck books and encyclopedias? I don't even know. Those look like encyclopedias.
They're just books. They're just books.
Oh, knows. I kind of love how easy it is to find now.
Yeah.
Like, whoever hit that did not do a very good job. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
There's one place on this ship where we could survive
a
phaser explosion.
Oh!
Wow.
Better hope that it didn't explode on the way past anyone else's quarters.
Enough to shake the ship.
Kind of serious.
Not enough to destroy the garbage disposal.
That's a fabulous bathrobe he's wearing.
It looks like he inherited it from the Weasleys.
It's a pretty darn nice guest room there.
Yeah, speaking of a darn nice guest room, this weird-shaped bed thing is the weird-shaped bed thing that Captain Pike had in his cell in the cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. As in, I'll invade your privacy any darn well time I please.
Mm-hmm. Are you Kodos?
I mean, I like that he just doesn't beat around the bush on it. It's just...
Yeah. Why the fuck would I ask you?
I hate assholes who say things like that. You totally say things like that all the time. Do you believe I am? I am if it pleases you, asshole.
If it pleases you to
Such
think
a dick.
I'm the type of person who would say that, then fine, I am.
And don't give me this artistic angst over, like, how you're a different man, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, what were you 20 years ago? I was younger. It's like, yeah, I was a murderer.
Oh, they've got Kodos' voice film.
This amazing speech says so much about exactly what the Tarsus IV massacre experience was. Mm-hmm. So kudos to whoever ended up having to write that.
And he goes right ahead and does it. Because the game is up.
He's not reading the paper anymore! Either he's a quick sight reader, or he's heard those words before. He remembers them so perfectly that he could write them down. Mm-hmm. Verbatim.
I mean, they have voice film of him, too.
Is that a word? Electronicize?
I don't think it's one that is commonly used.
Is accepted? What does he know about humanity?
He's a scholar of humanity because he
Is an actor.
Yes, he acts Shakespeare. Oh shit. Because that's the thing about Kodos, is from his point of view,
Yeah.
he wasn't.
He thinks himself a hero.
He wasn't a villain.
It's like, well, supply ships wouldn't gotten there in time, so I made a decision to make sure that no one suffered.
It's like, it's just lucky that the supply ships arrived, because...
But who was he to make that call, you know? Who was he to say, you're worthy of living and you're worthy of dying? That's just the most monstrous part. Basically, he's going crazy and his mind's going.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a frail old loon who used to be a monster.
Oh, snap. Did she hear everything?
I hate her. See, she knows it. She knows this whole time. Now, when he was hanging out with her.
In the beginning, perhaps. See?
Yeah. Because he's a dumbass and he falls for a pretty face. Well, they're both crazy, basically. Her and her father. Just
Oh,
loons.
yeah, definitely.
When you just, like, start quoting, you know, Shakespeare or poetry in the middle of a serious freaking conversation, you're a loon. And who the hell is she to talk about mercy and cruelty?
Like, her father is... You could say that her father's being driven mad by, you know, partly by the memory of the things that he had to do. But she...
Yeah, I love... oh, God. That face.
Nice. I love that that reply.
Like, anyone and everyone should be bothered by what happened there. But then it's like, does she not know? Because she should know. Oh, no. Oh, Riley. Oh, God. Come on. McCoy.
Poor clueless Riley didn't even know
Yes.
Kodos was on the ship. He was all like, why did I get sent down to engineering? Why am I being demoted?
And then, like, I woke up in sickbay because someone tried to kill me. And then, holy shit, the dude who murdered my family is there.
Well, now I'm definitely going to try to kill him.
Pretty freaking serious.
Yeah. So, McCoy, best doctor, not the best secret keeper.
Why is there not a door there? Like, seriously. It's a doorway, but not a door.
It's theater, babe. It's theater.
No, in the medical room? Med bay?
Oh, in the air. Yeah, why isn't
But
there
I
a
assume
door
it's because you do need to hear if someone suddenly starts to die in the next room, and they apparently don't have monitors?
I guess. Oh, man.
Let's just compare. I'm pretty sure the computer
I know.
would have told them, and maybe it did, but like here, maybe he wants to see it with his own eyes.
Mm-hmm. A match, but not an exact match. It's brutal.
Whoops.
Right.
Oopsie doodles. But like you're asking someone to recite something that was done 20 years ago and under different conditions, so it's not going to be an exact match, I would think. Your voice will change a little bit over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty serious.
Kevin Riley.
I like that there is a ship's theater, though.
Man of action. That's true.
You think it's done. Red shirts everywhere.
Like, he didn't even know the shit was going on for most of the episode. But as soon as he finds out, he's like, oh snap, I'm gonna kill this dude. Kill him. That, for a ship's theater, there is not a lot of room for audience.
No. Also interesting and very specific choices of plays and which scenes that are being performed.
Yes, definitely.
You've got this bit of Hamlet, where the character that Karidian is playing, the father, is talking about being sent to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Would you put your phaser on the captain? Even now, even after everything that Kirk has investigated.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, it's desperate. He desperately doesn't want Riley to make a...
He doesn't want him to throw away his career and his life.
I think it's interesting that both Tom Layton and Kevin Riley, for them, it's an instinctual, I know that face, I know that voice.
Right.
And yet Kirk is not one who's like, I know that face, I know that voice. It's like, I maybe know that face. Maybe could know that voice.
He's pretty sure.
Is he just in denial? Is Kirk just in denial the whole time because he just does not want to believe this is...
Is he Hamlet wavering between action and inaction? I don't think so, because I think he's the captain. He has to do what's right, and that means, to him, that means not just being sure in your heart, but being sure factually, with evidence.
This is the best moment. This is just the most amazing moment in this entire episode. When you realize the bitch is crazy.
She is a batshit.
Like, this whole time, if you were just, because you were being constantly directed to Kodo/Karidian, like, again and again and again. Because how in the world could she possibly be involved? She wasn't born until after this happened. And then
He never talked to her about it.
No, but she found out on her own and took it upon herself to be all like, they're being mean to my dad. And then I'll go and murder them all. Like, she's just such a freaking loon.
Yeah,
and it's so creepy. It's so creepy how completely batshit insane she is. Like, she is just insane. And this line from Karidian here that he thought that this was the one beautiful thing he had done in his life.
Yeah.
And it's not. It is also
it's been
tainted.
Ruined.
I mean,
more than anything.
Well, he's a horrible freaking person. I mean, he does not deserve any good thing in his life whatsoever. So, yeah, big surprise that your past basically never left you.
Yeah.
It continued to haunt you forever and ever. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
But the fact that she just keeps on quoting plays is just, oh dear God, yeah, she really is alone. I mean, she's lived her entire life, basically, as a little theater kid, and just does not know how to relate into the real world. Like, for her, this is just all one giant play.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I'm still working!
Yeah.
Because I'm just this crazy.
I'll talk to you when I'm ready. No, I think you'll talk to me when I'm ready.
Yeah, I hate her so much. She's just the worst. I can't remember if it's official or not, but it was always pretty much a given that actually, like, Kodos had this just giant store of food. Like, the whole thing that they wouldn't all last until supply ships got there was, like, BS.
Oh, really?
But it really comes down to the fact that it's like he made this decision of like, oh, those ships won't get here in time. You
Guard
know?
fail.
Yeah. I just love how crazy she is right here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yep. Bitch is crazy. Wonderfully crazy.
Wow.
And he will actually risk his life to save that monster. Because it's the right thing to do in the situation.
Is there only one guard in that place, also? There's only one armed guard.
Basically, he finally gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Far too kind for him.
This is the second time in the series we've seen the phaser being used on its kill setting, but not disintegrate.
Yeah.
The first time being the man trap. Oh, she's gone.
Oh yeah,
She's totally gone now.
She's an amazing loon.
She is she's somewhere up there, and everyone else is.
Yeah, basically, you're a monster, and you produce a monster.
Yeah.
Who resulted in your own final death.
She said the thing, the title of the thing.
The title of the thing. They've done it like 3 or 4 times now. Where the title of the thing is said.
Right.
Oh, she's whacked out pretty hardcore.
And it was witnessed by all 20 people in the audience.
But it's just a wonderful story in how it basically the red herring that you assume, okay, well, the old dude we know is his monster from 20 years ago,
because he's the mass murderer,
so he must be the one doing his other stuff. And then when it's this giant reveal that it's the daughter doing it, is just a great, like,
the character we thought was the innocent is
like the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, it's a great twist. No Sulu or Scotty in this episode.
Yeah, there was a red shirt at the controls, right? That was weird. Why is he there? No, he's not. It's inappropriate. Oh, angsty eyes are angsty.
Yeah.
Come on, McCoy, it's inappropriate. It's really inappropriate to be like, they totally had a thing for her, right? The crazy bitch. Like, it's not really a let's have some little, like, smiles at each other moment. It's a pretty awful situation they just all went through.
He wasn't in love, but he definitely liked her.
Because he's a caring guy. He cares for people, and, I mean, for him, as he is, you know, possibly coming to the determination that this actor, Karidian, is this executioner Kodos, you know, he is then potentially feeling sad that this what he assumes is an innocent girl is mixed up in all this.
Yeah.
Because she's basically born psycho. It's just, I guess, bound to come out at some point on her. But obviously what's great in if you go back to analyze is, you know, he says, yeah, he basically was hitting on her as a way to get to her father to try to investigate. You know, because he asked, like, you know, like, so when did your father start acting, you know? Because he's trying to investigate. And then after he's kind of going that way and maybe questioning whether it is him or not, he does start to fall for her. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, what's obviously revealed at the end is that she was playing him the whole time.
Yeah.
With the intention of murdering him the whole
he was
time.
Definitely on her list. Like, if he had gone away with her or, like, slept with her or something like that, he would have woken up dead.
I mean, how he didn't end up dead in the observation deck, I don't know, is basically just a function of the story that he doesn't end up dead there.
Right.
But that was a perfect opportunity for her to kill him, except it would have been obvious then that she had killed him, and she has to make it look like an accident. Yeah. That also being said, she's kind of, like, maybe really dumb, or just not good at this, even though she'd already done it
7 times.
Yeah, 7 times before then. Mm-hmm. When we then understand that she would have been the one that killed Tom. Mm-hmm. And yet, she allows Kirk to lead her outside in the direction of Tom's body. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe she doesn't care because...
Well, at that point, she doesn't care because she's not a suspect.
She's not, but it's like you let him lead you to where the dude you just murdered is.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is he led
And then she obviously did it on the way
versa.
in. She did it when she comes to that door. She just murdered Tom Layton. She just offed that dude. Yeah. And then showed up at that dude's house. Yeah. Pretending like everything was fine. I mean...
Hey, it's a party!
She's a great character, because she's so disgustingly mad. Like, she's just...
And scheming.
Mental!
Ain't no party like a Tom Layton party, because a Tom Layton party ends in murder!
Yeah, so that is, for me, one of the best episodes. Because you can't go wrong with Shakespeare involved ever. It's great. And
Kevin Riley.
Kevin Riley's there.
Yep.
Only his second appearance that ever happens.
Right, second and last appearance.
This amazing, juicy, angsty backstory.
Yeah, deep dive into Kirk's backstory.
Really, really serious stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
it's good.
And then just great performances. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
Good times all around.
Yep.
Sad.
Good performances by the guest stars. This is a very good episode.
And again, that great, all the scenes with Spock and McCoy. Mm-hmm. You know, them on the side doing their own investigation and analysis of the situation because they are Kirk's best friends and they are concerned about him. Yeah. Like, I love all that.
I love their whole B story.
Yeah, so many great layers going on there.
Yes. Very good episode. So, that was The Conscience of the King. And make sure you come back and join us next time for episode 14.
Do you remember what that is?
Balance of Terror.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Also, quite a classic. So, we'll see you next time.
That's gonna be good.